Mic check. Yes, sir. That's me. All right, welcome back. How's everyone doing today? Well, thank you for joining me. Appreciate the effort. This is another Financial New. I'm your host, Nua, if you want to call me that. We have a delightful presentation from our Banking 4.0 Digital Identity for All, the next evolution. So join me. Let's sift through this presentation and let's see what they have to offer us in terms of value information.
Okay, so that we'll discuss today not much about technology. By the way, it was a great presentation. So we learned everything about eIDAS and what's going on in Europe and cross-border stuff, so we are okay. Today we'll discuss about how identity can stimulate people to use digital services.
1 second.
How we can increase financial inclusion starting with digital identity. Because any process, when you talk about digital financial services, it starts with an identity. If you don't have a digital identity, you cannot get digital financial service. So one of the topics will be how we can help a lot of people still using branch offices of the banks and using the regular passports or ID cards, and how we can increase the financial inclusion, because, okay, we are in Europe, but still we have countries, and Romania is on top, having the most underbanked or unbanked population. And on the panel, and I'll let them introduce 10 seconds each, we have different companies, different countries, different technologies, and I will start from the last one, Adrian, to introduce himself. So what is Namirial doing in terms of digital identity? And TSP, you are a TSP, first of all, right?
We are a TSP. Okay, so hi everybody, my name is Adrian Dinculescu. I'm the managing director of Namirial Romania.
Good day, Adrian.
Not yet the CEO of Namirial Group.
Ooh, we got aspirations.
Just to clear things up. And I'm doing this part as managing director in the weekend. During the week, I'm the sales and service director for Namirial. A little bit, Namirial has several entities. Namirial Romania is in charge of South Central Eastern Europe, so I can provide some feedback regarding this region. In terms of products, since you asked about this, we have onboarding, signing platform, trust services, archiving, electronic archiving, and certified communication.
So you are a one-stop shop for everything about
we could be a one-stop shop.
Identity and signature.
We could be a one-stop shop, yeah. But
all right.
So Namirial in general is everything started from the TSP side. So we are issuing qualified certificates, and we do this in the entire European Union. And since it's an obligation to do identification when you issue the qualified certificate, of course we have to be aware of what's happening with regards to the identification part of the issuing of the certificates, and that's why we got involved into this nice concept of the European Union Digital Identity Wallet and the potential consortium. And
excellent. Thank you very much.
Sure.
So, Wouter, you come from Belgium, right? So
exactly.
How is going? It's me, because it's pretty.
I find that to be a little rude how you cut him off like that, because it seemed like you had more to say, but let's just keep pushing.
You know, straightforward. You are already in some 14 countries already.
Yeah.
So what It's Me is doing?
Exactly. Maybe in a nutshell, so I'm responsible for working with our strategic partners internationally. It's Me is already in the market for almost 10 years, and I think, as Valentina nicely explained, we're actually one of the front runners of what people now call a digital identity wallet, doing basically everything that a digital identity wallet is supposed to do in the way that actually Europe prescribes it. So it means KYC, onboarding, confirmation services, authentication on payments, digital signature, everything. I think big difference is that we do that from an actual wallet, reusable wallet concept, which means that it's a one-time activation basically, and then you as a company, government, sort of can make an interaction as fluent as a couple seconds and not having to re-identify your your citizen each and every time. Just to give quick idea about us being active across Europe, soon Romania, actually. Now more than 7 million people actually using It's Me on a daily basis for everything that I mentioned before. So we're quite proud about really It's Me being part of everyday life for already so many people across a wide range of sectors, be it government,
Excellent.
be it public, banking to babysitting apps, really.
Excellent.
Babysitting
Thank you,
apps.
Jose. So you already
Babysitting
told
apps.
us for 15 minutes or more what Eurotrust is doing. But just let me, because I have to say, you started, Eurotrust is a Bulgarian company.
Yes, Evertrust
Right.
is a trust unit, also is a trust unit company, and also digital wallet services. And we are present in the east part of the Europe and also in the Romania. Actually, our biggest advantage is that we are not doing the identity verification, we are doing identity attestation, meaning that we attestate that identity is a real one.
Excellent. Wow, it's different then. So, so many technologies. Now we go to Pixel. So Pixel comes from Switzerland, right?
Thank you for having me here. Yes, Pixel Vision is the market leader in identity proofing in Switzerland. My name is Dan. I consider myself a European citizen, and I pay taxes in Switzerland, even though I'm born in Romania. With the Pixel, we do the identity verification in different ways. I won't insist on that, but I think the vision is to bring trust to the digital identities, because we discussed a lot about trust with the help of AI. We discussed a lot about AI. And in general, to bring trust in this digital world where content is more and more, and you don't know what's reality and what's not reality.
Thank you very much. Now I have some
We're getting harder and harder.
for you, and I prepared the questions using ChatGPT.
It's getting harder and harder for us to distinguish what's real and what's fake. These people are putting forward. So interesting.
Yeah, and I will go to Namiriel because Adrian, I know Italy is pretty advanced, right? Someone from another company coming from Italy, not sure is present here, told me there are 35 million digital identities in Italy. Is that true?
That's correct. Italy is a success story
Yeah.
with regards to digital identities. Now, to not confuse digital identities with wallets. Okay.
Yeah, that will be the next question. So
Okay,
let's talk.
all right.
Yeah.
So if we talk strictly about digital identity, there are two things that should be discussed. On one side is the digital identity in terms of speed, for example, the electronic identity schema from Italy, where 91% of the population is using it for accessing different online services in relation with companies and with the government. And there were big incentives to make use of this identity schema. So that's why it's a success story. And then there is CIE, which is the electronic identity card, which is also used by a lot of the population. And with the combination of the two, you're covering basically 100% of the population in Italy that can make use of identities in a digital way, let's put it like that.
That's a success indeed, because if I ask Wouter, he will say, yeah, almost all Belgians use It's Me. If I ask Eurotrust in Bulgaria,
Yeah, but
how many? Yeah, I'll come back to you.
Just to
It seems like that's the thing. They're making it more and more generally acceptable to use it, and a moderator is making it seem like, of course, why would you not expect everyone to just get a digital ID?
Just
Yeah, go ahead.
to clarify, Speed is owned by the government. It's ran by private companies, but it's not an electronic identity schema of private companies. So that's why there were incentives from the government side to make use of this identity schema. Of course, it has its downsides because under eIDAS 2.0, there is an obligation for level of assurance high. Okay, let's call it level of assurance because there is still a debate regarding the terms. And Speed is not. It's still level of assurance substantial, which means that it should evolve or it should be changed. We're seeing there are different initiatives there. So it's a success story, but in the context of eIDAS 2.0, it needs to have some changes in order to be
Okay,
used
let's
for
go
a
to
while.
this question. So what do you expect? What's the impact on your business or the other guy's business when ADAS will be in place? What's the how much will change everything? Because, you know, there was a panel earlier about technology drives, and I couldn't have the chance to ask, but my question was, what if we build, I mean, the banks build technologies the users refuse to use? That there is a resistance.
I love his question. That's a very interesting question. What if we rebel and we don't implement what they expect us to implement? What are the contingency plans, sir, you have in place?
So imagine a bank invests like $1 million or 2 million or 10 million in a technology and the users don't use it. How soon do you have a contingency plan? So now I wonder, coming ADAS, what happens with ADAS 2? What will be the change? Because you are involved yet. I heard you many times saying that. But
there's so many changes, but I can give you some examples of some threats, for example, to trust service
better
providers.
examples than just define what ADAS 2 is.
No, I don't. I was not planning to do that anyhow. So, for example, free certificates in the wallet. Okay, it's an obligation. How it will be done is not clear. Who will provide those free certificates? But people, once wallets will be adopted, should have access to a qualified certificate for personal use. Has an impact on the current TSPs.
Why do you need a certificate to use the wallet? I guess they want to ensure that there aren't fake wallets with fake currencies. So you have to issue a certificate.
And we're talking about, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 250 TSPs on EU level. So it will have an impact on all of them.
Yeah. So it's a kind of known unknown. It was a guy called Rumsfeld who used that. But this is good or bad because we always tried, all of us here, to improve, to change, to adapt, to be fast. So, Walter, you started 2017. You already have 80% of population or more. How do you see the impact? Are you already aligned? Because Namia says, well, we don't know yet.
Yeah, I mean, we very much welcome the new regulation because it's because it wants to boost digital economy. It wants to boost security and people being in control of their data. However, we're today eIDAS compliant. Under the new regulation, we do meet most of the requirements, but there's still some uncertainty around it. And I think there's a bit of two schools. I think people that wrote the legislation have very much written it from a sort of public-to-public perspective, with very strict requirements, and actually conceiving it almost as a one-stop shop, big brother kind of wallet solution that needs to hold the data, store the data, which is maybe not what citizens want, right? I think the philosophy behind this is really accurate and is really good, but I think the way that it will ultimately shape, and that's what we see in the pilots in which also we are active, is that it will be a public-private sort of ecosystem that will need to be shaping. And very much similar to a payments ecosystem, for example, where there's heavy regulation around. It's very important. To government, it's important because it helps to combat fraud, but it's a critical infrastructure. It needs to work across sector, way beyond government, way beyond data that government needs to provide. So it's more logical that private players like us here on the panel play a role in that, together with government, together with banks that do have an important role and many others. So it's really the ecosystem thinking. I think the actual implementation will need to prove itself in the years to come, and that's I think the work we're doing in pilots to make it actually work.
Yeah. So we are, Romania is part of EU. We are very well known for how much regulations EU, less so about on innovation, but it becomes like a standard in other countries. So we see, I heard someone in Taiwan talking about open banking, but it was a completely different concept for what we see here in Europe. Now we have Switzerland. Switzerland is a very interesting country, right, Dan? They are not part of EU. They care about GDPR. They have a kind of sort of GDPR. Do you have an ADAS too or similar?
So yes, Switzerland is an interesting island in the middle of Europe that many times
Video I should cut in now, but I'm just interested. Like I said, this is all new to me. I'm very intrigued how the moderator likes to push past conversations very easily. Um, Outside of that, it seems like these individuals are like the avant-garde of decisions when it comes to IDs, and they're now, as you said, formulating the thought of whether or not or how, sorry, they should go about implementing these regulations into what you call the space, digital wallets and all the third, because how are we going to get the average citizen to start using this currency? One, how are we going to start having them use it in their day-to-day lives too? And again, we invest all this money into this technology, and the average citizen doesn't adopt it. What's the contingency? So I guess this is just an overall meeting to extract information. As they said, they're using or utilizing machine learning to get. They're utilizing machine learning to extract basically the samples or the understanding they would need of how to go forward. Like they don't need necessarily our participation. Basically, just our interaction with their system is enough to program their computer, which gives them the biometrics, not the biometrics, which gives them the data they need essentially to move forward. So yeah, let me take a sip of some water. We can do a part 2 if you guys want, or you can hold on for 5, 10, 15 minutes. I ain't gonna hold you. I don't think anyone really here. If you here, give me 2 seconds, bro. I'm gonna drop this and come back because I don't want to keep y'all holding. Or actually, just stay right there. Let's go to scene 2. Give y'all something to watch. That's not the one I want to get. Yeah, just stay there for a sec. I'll be back. I need some water. Ugh.
That is fucked. He is a bit of a socially awkward guy. He's a bit odd. Maybe it was just an accidental one-off in the moment. Okay, no, it was a two-off. Okay, yeah, he double-tapped that shit. That is fucked. I just want to say thank you for making it happen.
In case y'all didn't know, Elon be doing some different hand signs out. Yeah, let's continue and get this out the way. I need to learn.
Alert from low battery.
All right, so I think I kind of get a synopsis of what's going on here. This is really to help the government become digitalized. This is really to give all the quote unquote normies the green light to become a digital ambassador into this digital market. This is what they're framing. As of right now, they have a system that the normies are happy with. Now they have to convince the normies that all the conspiracy people, what they were talking about before, isn't as crazy. And you know what? It might be a good idea if we follow them as well. That's what it sounds like to me, because all it seems like they're talking about is how to get people on board. Right now, it's optional for us to get into this digital mainframe, right? So it being optional, not everyone's going to go. But if now you make it mandatory that you have this wallet. So for example, I just got my passport renewed. In the next coming whatever, I'm going to have to pay for that said passport with, well, there'll be the transition, but it'll be, you can now start paying with your government, blah, blah, bum, bum, bam, 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 bam. Everyone got pensions. I saw this was, they were pushing this with Trump. They said it, bro. If we go back a few years, they wanted to started giving people that bonus or whatever, that PPP loan through debit cards, through some sort of easy process for you to get. We didn't have to send it through by check. You didn't have to go directly to the bank account. You just got this card mailed in the mail and whoop de woo 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 woo. Your credit. So that's how I'm looking at the situation. How do you guys perceive it? Let's continue. It's almost done. Sorry. I want to go back to hear that. Payments, digital identity, and sharing. Division. I'm telling you, I'm not liking this moderator. He seems to be a different individual. Yo, if we go through the democratic process and we let individuals choose, okay, that we'll never get a wallet, okay? Well, I'm just saying he's different. He's different. All right, so to sum up what we just heard, or what I just heard, it's good to go digital. They want to go digital. They need to modernize the system to make it seamless for everyone to go digital. We don't know what's going to happen when we go digital, but they are bent on having it done. So let's see what happens. Let's support the efforts, and I want to thank you again for joining me on another Financial New. I am your host. Push those buttons. Let me know what you think, what we need to do better. These segments are long. They're informative. I don't know what to say. I'm learning. I can't just, wrap them up for you, and because then that takes more effort. So let's go through it together. You can fast forward. You guys could fast forward. Have you ever thought of that? I gotta listen. You guys just gotta look for the friggin' peaks of the conversation and check out my inputs. But thank you again. I appreciate y'all. Shout out to the team. Y'all know who y'all is. I'm thirsty for some more information. Thank you again. We love y'all. I'll see y'all.